Hey, Dr. Karen here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And this is May 2019. Boy, time certainly flies, doesn't it? Well, the spiritual news for this week is more about the theme that we talked about last week, and that is individuation. Now, let me give you the big picture. You probably heard we are all one, right? So on a quantum level, we are all entangled with each other to a certain extent. Sometimes when we are in a particular lifetime, we are more seemingly entangled with those around us than, say, alternate lifetimes, etc. However, that seems to have shifted and changed with the ascension process. So with ascension, we become more empathetic and actually more gifted and able to feel and sense and be connected to more things, going closer and closer to who we really are, which is a fractal of Source. We are just a piece of Source and individuation from Source, from the void. So what's happened this past week is that with the ascension process, one of the things that has been really helpful in helping people avoid or decrease or eliminate symptoms related to feeling too much, especially those of you that are sensitive souls, is to be able to individuate energetically from everything and everyone else. So last week we worked on energetically individuating ourselves from the rest of the Infiniverse. Remember, you are a part or fractal part of the Infiniverse, all of creation, all of the created, I should say. And what you can check is if you do some divine muscle testing, like if you're a TOLPAKAN Healing practitioner or you are a student of TOLPAKAN Healing, you can check if it's for your highest and greatest good to be individuated mentally, emotionally, of course, energetically, spiritually, and dimensionally, not only from the rest of the Infiniverse, but also from your alternate lives, from the rest of the universe, from your soul destiny partners in this timeline, your soul destiny partners in other timelines, and everything and everyone else. Now, interestingly for me, unlike those that I've tested in the last week or so, that I am not allowed to individuate spiritually from the Infiniverse, the universe, my alternate selves, etc. There is a role that I have to play. So even though we are all one, we don't necessarily have to feel what's going on with the other parts of us or the other versions of us or the rest of the Infiniverse, unless it is your role to do something about it or to help or ease or balance things out. So for me, I at this point am not allowed to individuate spiritually per se from the Infiniverse because I have work to help support the whatever's going on in the ascension process and the Infiniverse. I know it sounds like so weird, some of the stuff, but this week, what's been interesting is that the spiritual body of the Infiniverse. Now, let me back up a little bit. So it took me a while to kind of gather my thoughts and understanding around Mother Earth being a being or like an individual. So Mother Earth having a soul, Mother Earth having an energetic body and different parts of her, different energetic body parts, etc. So it took me a while to wrap my head around that. But now I'm needing to wrap my head around the whole all of creation, the Infiniverse, having its own set of energetic anatomy, so to speak, or spiritual anatomy. So the spiritual body this week needs to be rebalanced. So you might have been affected by that. You can check to see whether your spiritual body needs to be rebalanced after the latest ascension upgrades. If so, you can just do a directive, a TOLPAKAN Healing directive to do that. For example, I now command that my spiritual body and all my bodies, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional, be rebalanced in the highest and best way. Thank you. Now, there are some positive morphic fields. We call them AAAs or automatic alignment activators. Say that 3 times fast, which help to ongoing to actually help with some of these things. So I've created some for the Infiniverse, and they are also part of some of the healing MP3s that I have. For example, Ascension 2, Deep Healing 2 and 4, and Augment or Awaken Your Superpowers, one of those, where this automatic alignment activator is there. So you can always ask for that when you play any of those MP3s and say, hey, I want that positive morphic field downloaded to me so that this can be an ongoing healing for you and not just a one-off, rebalancing, so to speak. So that's the big news for this week. So just check in. If you do some muscle testing, check in how intact and healthy and balanced is your spiritual body. And because, whatever happened to the Infiniverse that needs to happen in you, it may be a little bit of a delay. But if you know ahead of time that that's what is completing or balancing, then you can go ahead and check percentage-wise how balanced is it now, and then do your directive, and then check how balanced is it after. And if you're part of the Light Warrior Support Group Tribe or the Light Warrior Network Tribe, you can always just check in and just let us know what score you get, and see how that helps before and after you do TOLPAKAN healing. So a couple of announcements this week. On Monday, I'm going to be interviewing the beautiful and amazing Dr. Whitney Young. She is a colleague and friend of mine, and we are both in the master's program, the Wellness Leadership Academy, and she is the creator of the Super Mom program, Super Mom, Super Baby program. And I actually did not know her history. She'll tell more about it on the show, but she was widowed at a very young age, and this is not something that you hear about that often, but she had to learn some, survival strategies, and she's, created a lot of resilience in herself, and she helps her moms to raise, very healthy babies and also be healthy themselves. So if you're looking for some resiliency, some coaching, mentoring, and some tips on how, no matter what happens in your life, including your spouse dying suddenly, this is the great show to be on. So check it out. Monday, it's going to be at 12 noon Eastern. And if you can't make it, it's okay. The show is going to be archived, and I'll post the link below where you can find all of the archived Light Warrior radio shows. But we would love to hear from you live. If you have a question for Dr. Whitney, it would be super cool if you called in live, and we'll put instructions so you know how to raise your hand. Now, the second announcement is a reminder that the Omega Institute, I'm going to be teaching there in September 22nd to 27th. It is a 5-day training, and it is going to help light warrior sensitive souls really start to use their sensitivity as a superpower. I'm super excited about that, and I'm going to be announcing in the near future a special gift for those that register early. So just stay tuned for that. Follow me on Facebook. I'll be announcing that on the Light Warrior Support Group and the Light Warrior Network in the near future, and also on the email in case you're on the email list as well. And if you're not on the email list, you can get on the email list at KarenCan.com, and you can find out about all sorts of really cool stuff coming up. Later on in the month, I'll also be on a telesummit, a Wisdom of the Ancients telesummit, and this is really cool because I'm going to be doing some mini healings and mini readings and really showcasing and demonstrating how to use the TOLPAKAN Healing Method in very, very amazing and creative ways, things that you can do as well. And if you're pretty new to TOLPAKAN healing, you don't know what it is, or you're even new to energy healing, I want you to check this out because we are going to be demonstrating how to do some of this healing, and you'll get some amazing tips there. So join me on this show. I'll put the link below this video. And yeah, so those are the announcements for this week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will talk to you next week. Bye for now.